All right. Welcome. Thanks for being the first guest.
Number one.
Number one.
Excited.
All right. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself because, I could do it, but then we'd be here for a really long time. So go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paige. I've been friends with Beth forever, since middle school. We went to middle school together, and I feel like we kind of bonded over, you were dating, and we met up, but then shortly after that you broke up, and we really bonded over that breakup. It was just like the summer of fuck guys.
It was.
Not literally fuck guys, but
no, it would have been weird.
Yeah,
we were
right
about
off,
14,
guys.
15 years old. So if it was literally
we
that.
fucked everyone. No. It was the
Right?
summer of signing off guys, and we had so much fun that summer.
We did. It was the beginning of the Fetus and Zygoat adventures.
Yeah.
And
that
the beginning
keychain was it. So I call Beth Fetus and she called me Zygoat. And I don't know if the name came first or the keychain came first, but I got her this keychain that was like this see-through woman's body with a little floating rubber fetus in it. And you remember you could
still
pop
have
it.
it.
You really? You could pop
Yeah.
the stomach out? Oh man, that was the weirdest keychain I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you gave me that keychain and then I got fucking pregnant. So thanks for that.
My bad.
It's all right. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Now that child is 18 years old and has 0 fucks to give. So yes. And then so with the birth of Fetus and Zygoat Adventures also came the birth of the X-Files. And that was a wonderful creation. Also something that you made for me that I still have, by the way.
That was the summer of swearing off guys, but then it was that was the theme, I feel like, of our friendship until recently. It was just we would date guys that were horrible. I don't know why we thought they were good matches. And then it was years later, I thought it would be so funny. Let's make the X-Files and just I don't even remember what's in there, but we just wrote about all our exes. It was like a burn book.
Yeah, we had pictures of them all. Yeah. It was next level stalker witch shit.
Here's a hair sample.
Right? Boom. Just in case he ever goes missing, here's a toenail.
Incriminating evidence.
I don't remember what the timeline was, but I know it was shortly after that we started setting each other up with just the worst. I feel like I set you up with worse. You definitely owe me some horrible setups, some horrible blind dates, because I feel like I gave your phone number out to random people who were way older than us. I was you need to wingman me and date this guy because I like his friend, and you're such a good friend that you were just okay, full out, not even just entertain this guy, full out dated him. Yeah, for 48 hours, but it's still
wasn't that short?
Yeah.
Did you kiss?
No.
Oh,
he had no lips, dude.
Yeah.
That wasn't even the worst of it. The worst of it was the ashtray you made me make out with, because you were like, he really likes you and he rode the bus all the way here, and look, he's hot. Who cares if he smells like an ashtray? Kiss him, do it. And I was like, oh my God.
And he loved you. He talked about you forever and just how big your eyes were.
I don't even have big eyes.
He would be
you have big eyes.
She looks like a bug. I was like, is that a good thing? Man, yeah, I did that too. I don't think you've ever set me up with anyone bad.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get lucky and the one I set you up with you'll marry. Voila. You know what else I realized though? I realized that we never really picked our boyfriends back then. Our boyfriends kind of picked us, and we would just kind of went with it for a way longer time than was really smart. I feel
I'm still doing that to a certain, until recently. I feel pre-COVID, I was yeah, okay, this guy likes me, I'm not doing anything else, whatever. And it's anyone listening to this, that's a horrible way to get in a relationship.
Yep.
Only crazy people like me.
I like
for the love of God.
Oh wait. That's it's not a good comparison. Never mind. Scratch that. We'll edit that later. So let's move forward a little bit.
Mhm.
Years later, I ended up getting married after countless garbage relationships, one more
I
abusive than
mean,
the last, and like controlling and psychotic. Like we really rode a wave of just men with mental issues and
do you know what
insecurity
though?
and control.
I feel like you get into a bad relationship, not you, but anyone gets into a bad relationship, and sometimes it fucks with like your confidence and all these your head, all these other things. And then if you don't like get fully over it,
Mhm.
then you just slowly go down, and then you start to think like, well, these are the type of people I should be with.
That's right. And obviously, I can't do any better. And nobody that's, you know, fitting into my box likes me. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to be with this
Sack of
reject.
potatoes. Yeah.
Right. Like, and I mean, I'm lucky in some ways. Like, the father of my youngest is a good man. He's been good to both of my sons, and we got lucky there that he lets me continuously abuse him, and he was never really abusive to me. Like the worst thing I can say about that relationship is that we really had no business being together. We were so very opposite. And I mean, I'm grateful that it happened. I got my son out of it, and my other son has a father figure as a result that, you know, he admires, looks up to, all of that. So I try not to regret too heavily those past relationships, especially the ones that brought my children. But holy man, like, did I ever waste 6 years trying to fix a guy and his kid? And
That was a bad one.
while I can appreciate that because it was the relationship directly before my husband. So had I not been in that shitty relationship, our paths never would have crossed ultimately, right? So that I think is the point that I get to as far as comparing the silver linings and being like, I literally wasted 6 years. This man cheated on me and I took him back, and he was 20 years older than me. Like, what was I thinking? And the second that we broke up and it was done, I mean, everybody came out of the woodwork and was like, I hated him, I hated him, I hated him. But you were really the only person that was consistently throughout our relationship like, I'll support you, but I don't get it. And he treats you like shit, and you don't deserve that. And thank you
And
for that.
I have a couple other friends, and they're really not in good relationships.
Mhm.
And it's like, I think it's all you can do, but you're the only person that ever takes feedback well. Like a lot of people, like I'll say like, hey, obviously I'm here for you, I'm your friend, I'm gonna support you, whatever, but like you should break up with this person. They're horrible to you.
Mhm.
And like a lot of people will get upset at me for that, and then they'll, distance themselves. And
Mhm.
so it's like, I mean, I'm always just gonna say it out loud. I don't think I can keep my mouth shut. But you're the only one that like that never changed our friendship at all.
Mhm. Yeah, well, and because I appreciated it, right? Whether or not I was prepared to receive that, and I was, an ask hole, which is a term I love to use for people who are just constantly like, help me, my life sucks. And then you tell them and they do nothing. They just continue to kind of mope and exist in this kind of negative mindset. Those are the fucking worst. And I feel like I was one of those. Like I fell into that
No,
for
I don't think
for a
so.
while. Well, I'm glad you don't think
Because
so.
the other piece that you're not thinking about and you're missing is like, it's not like you were in the financial place to just be like, you know what? I'm going to leave you. I'm just going to get up, go rent my own place. It's like
Mhm.
you guys were like living together and financially dependent on him. So like
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
huge thing. It can, I assume it can get like super overwhelming, and then that can make you depressed.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And then it's, every time you try to dig yourself out of the grave, you're only digging yourself deeper, right? And
Yeah.
I was controlled by guilt in that relationship more than anything. And, that child was used against me as like, well, he doesn't
Yeah.
have a mother and you need to be this person to him. And there was really just a lot of responsibility kind of thrown at me and left by the wayside for that person. And I resented it a lot. And I mean, it still angers me to the point that like if I see a vehicle that looks like his, I like want to speed up to see if it's him.
I thought you could say I want to speed up to hit it.
I
Like, oh
do.
my
I
God.
do. If I ever see him walking, I will legitimately run him over in a parking lot. So he better pray
Edit that
it
part
happens.
out.
Nope, not happening. I didn't say his name. He's not going to watch.
Yeah,
We
that's
both
true.
know that.
That's
If he
true.
sees it, I'll be like, it's somebody else. I
Can
didn't
he
say.
see now? Is that
Oh, right? I don't know. Maybe still putting his own poo-poos in his eyes. I don't know. Maybe.
But that's true. So you like had this relationship. Not only did that lead to meeting your husband, like just that circumstance, but it's like going from, it was like night and day. It was like going from someone who like wasn't nice to you, wasn't cool, like just wasn't anything. And then you meet someone who's like attractive and fun and like loves you and like isn't a total piece of shit.
Likes
like
my friends, cleans up after himself, doesn't have a bunch of shitty kids. Like he really, and it was difficult for me, and still sometimes I struggle with it, where I'm like finding myself waiting for the other shoe to drop and waiting for like his mask to fall away and him to become one of these other assholes that I've always experienced, right?
And
like
how long you been married?
It'll be 4 years. We've been married on the 11th.
Do you think that feeling ever goes away?
I was wondering that. I was like, do you know, I'm not sure if it does, because he said it to me the other day. He was like, how many years do I have to continue to prove to you that this is who I am and I'm not just putting on an act? Like, this would have been a 2-week show if it was an act, because I can't fake it that long. And I was like, yeah, you know, I really should be more secure. I really should. And I really should treat him as his own individual, as I expect him to treat me. But when you've been cheated on by every single partner, it's this constant state of waiting for that something, right? For that hiding of the phone, for the like being in the bathroom for too long. I mean, my husband's in the bathroom for a long time.
Being in the bathroom for too long?
Oh, listen,
what's happening there?
Listen. I've had so many people be like, yeah, my man cheated. I found out that like every time he was pretending he was taking a shit, he was texting the side piece and blah, 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 and arranging whatever. So now like,
maybe he really was shitting and texting the side.
Probably multitasking, right? Yeah. Although guys most of the time can't do that. So yeah. Just ask any guy that's in the 69 position.
So I wonder if like, so next time you start to feel that way, like if you could start thinking about like what is triggering this, because I wonder if like, if you know what triggers it and then you know what makes you feel secure and feel better, if you guys could communicate that and just like catch it before it happens.
See, this is why I talk to you. A wise woman. You're like Gandalf.
Oh, I wish I had. I used to have a Gandalf hat that Colin got me. I wish I had it.
Did it have a beard attached?
No, it was like from Germany. He was like, it's a traditional hat. I'll tell you right now, I went to Germany. I never saw any Gandalf hats, but
that's not a surprise. I mean, it's your brother after all.
Yeah.
It's traditional.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody hosed you for 80 euros for that hat. That's what I feel like.
And then like, I feel like since you got married, like stuff has just been pretty awesome. Like there hasn't been any drama. Like you guys moved to this beautiful house. Like you live around some cool people. And so like, yeah, it's been a real change. And I remember when you told me you were engaged and I was like so happy. But then I was like, no, I'm the only one in bad relationship. But it's like, okay, time to grow up and move on. And I've been trying to do that. Like shortly before COVID, I started going to therapy because I have ADHD. And so it's like cognitive therapy, but she's also just like a regular therapist half the time. And she helps me point out it, but she's like, points out a bunch of stuff. She's like, you ignore every red flag.
Yeah. You're like, I thought it was a carnival.
Yeah. And so I've been working on that a lot, and it's led to a mixture of the pandemic and that, you know, those realizations have led to like 500 first dates and 0 second dates. Like, guys, I have been on so many first dates, and like part of it is I'm demisexual, so I am attracted, sounds so ridiculous, but I'm attracted to people through bonding instead of like looks. And people will say like bullshit. I've worked with like chiseled Olympic athletes. Nothing.
Yeah, I've seen all the pictures.
Yeah. But like, you know, take me on a rooftop and let's go on a pub crawl and like, I'm in love. Yep. It's weird.
Let's go play some video games at an arcade where we can also drink.
Yeah, it's like this weird thing where it's like I need to go on an adventure to bond with someone and then become attracted to them. So then the pandemic hit, and at first I didn't know this about myself. For the first like year and a half of the pandemic, I thought I was literally dead inside because I went on all these first dates. I was like, fake it till you make it. Like, let's do this. Let's
push your way through.
Go on dates, go through the motions. And I went on all these coffee dates and social distancing dates that were so boring. And I had zero attraction to anyone. And I just thought, well, I hit this age, it dried up, and now it's gone. And then I started reading about, different sexualities and demisexuality. And I was like, oh. And I started thinking about all my exes and the way that I date all these crazy people, like climb a roof, or, we shot a concert together, all these weird scenarios that had this element of adventure.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no. Oh, but now that I know that about myself, I can kind of game the system a bit. So if I match with someone on a dating app and I think they're cool through talking with them, and they're like, let's go to coffee, it's like, no, we're going to rent a plane and fly over Toronto.
Yeah. Or we're going to paint all the shit out of each other until we are so bruised. We're just.
Yes, I like that date idea.
Right?
But yeah, so I can game the system a bit. And it's worked out for me a little bit.
That's good. You gotta, sometimes it's roulette, right? Like dating is, especially at our age, dating is fucking roulette. It's like literally you're going to the dump and finding the least broken, disgusting piece of shit you can find. Hopefully that doesn't have maggots and other shit feeding off of it attached to it. As you pull it from the dump, put it in your pocket and bring it home. Like, that's the analogy I use for dating after 35.
Well, okay. And do you know what's interesting is like, so meeting someone on dating apps, like everyone can relate to this. Like, I feel like it's easier for guys because I've been on my friends' hinges, and like every woman in Toronto is hot. It like every profile, I'm like, oh, these profiles are way better than mine.
Women know their angles, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying like the women in Toronto on Hinge are like 8 to 10. And then the men are like
4.
Yeah, a lot of them are super weird profiles. So I realized like I've been on a bunch of really fun dates recently. None of them I met on dating apps. It was friends through friends, or someone who matched with me on a dating app that was a friend of a friend. And it's like, I'm still waiting for that really great app date, and I don't think it's coming.
Yeah, but you're, like you explained, being a demisexual means that you're more apt to connect with somebody on a level that's not on a dating app, right? So whether that's an organic meeting up with somebody that's a friend of a friend, or whether that's somebody that kind of got passed over on the Bumble or the Hinge or any of the other apps, and you meet after that Passover and you're like, oh shit, I remember that face. Let's give this a go. So real quick, if you can think of them, can you give me like top 3 best and top 3 worst? I feel
dates?
Like, like that you've had recently.
Okay, well, 3 sounds like a lot. I'm sorry. I have top 2 best.
All right.
And I have I guess I have top 3 worst. Okay, so second best, match with this person, friend of a friend. So I had actually technically met this person before, and he planned this date, and it was pretty cute because like he did a bunch of like Googling to like research what a good first date was, and ended up like renting kayaks and going to the island.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was like kind of nice because I will tell you right now, the amount of people I match with, and in the first conversation, I'm not talking about the first day or like you're talking for a while. In the first minute, they're like, okay, can I come to your house? Or like you match with someone, you plan a date, and then they'll cancel and be like, yeah, I just don't feel like it. You just want to come over. And it's like,
you're just trying to get laid.
Yeah. It sounds like you're kind of looking to get laid, and that's totally fine. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. So good luck. And then they'll be like, fucking bitch.
Or they're like, you're fat anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, fucking calm down. So it was nice, like the effort was put in. It was in the day, which I thought was cool because like that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
It was a little more physical than I was expecting. Like halfway to the island, I was like, I'm gonna fucking die. Like but you know what? Then you power through it, and then my arms felt fine. But there was halfway to the island where and it was like 5 hours of kayaking.
Oh my. So to be clear, the I'm gonna die wasn't because you were afraid he was going to kill you. It was because your arms were tired.
Like, I am out of shape. Okay. And what have I got myself into? But I thought that was really sweet and cool and different.
Yeah.
And like I brought like picnic stuff, and we like pulled up on the island for a bit and like had a little picnic. I thought that was cool.
Nice.
Okay, wait, I lied. I do have best three.
I know you do.
Okay. So then now I'm gonna say the second best. That was the third best. So I have this friend, you know him. Are we gonna
We're not saying names. It's okay.
Okay.
You can say an initial if you want.
Okay, yeah, but you'll know who it is. Mm-hmm. And so he was coming from out of town, and then we have this mutual friend who has this like beautiful condo rooftop pool. Ooh. And so I'm just gonna say his name. You can bleep it out later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So coming in to Toronto because he wants to go to an Argos game, and he's gonna go with who has the pool to the Argos game. But I wake up and I'm like, I'm gonna play in that pool all day long. So I go to his house before he gets there, and I'm like, you know, it'd be fun. Why don't we go to St. Lawrence Market, buy a bunch of delicious food, and make an awesome cheese plate? And this guy is a foodie, and he was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. So I take a bunch of shrooms because St. Lawrence Market is top notch if you are on shrooms. Well, to anyone listening in Toronto,
all right,
great Sunday. Perfect. So go to St. Lawrence Market, best time of my life. We bought like I bought $100 worth of like cheese and pickles. Then he bought like a ton of stuff. Wow. Came back, we start making this epic cheese plate. And then I had a minor crush or something. I don't know if it was a crush, but like I thought I might like one of his friends. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, can we invite? He's like, yeah, sure. He's my friend, of course. And I was like, yeah, cool. So I invite this other guy over. So now is like, okay, I'm in Toronto, and he gets there, and it's like me in a bathing suit with like a $200 cheese plate, in a bathing suit, and I brought a margarita machine.
Oh my God.
Margaritas. And it's like, what are you guys doing? We're going to the football game. And I was like, are we?
Are we?
And I feel so bad because I like ruined the rest of this guy's night. So he goes to the Argos game. Mm-hmm. What we didn't know, or what I didn't know, was he was meeting a girl he's dating there, and all of her friends were coming, and he had promised them he was going to bring all these hot single guys.
No.
Oh, but with me. And then the other guy didn't show up. So anyway, we're in the pool, and I'm having a great time because like I'm drinking margaritas and high on shrooms and in the smallest bathing suit I own.
And there's a cheese board, so
it was amazing. So we swam for like 5 hours. Like it was really fun. And then we went back to his place, and like I took a shower, I changed back into my clothes, and like we were like laying on the couch just talking. And then so this whole time we're sending photos of like us in the pool, and so tells the girl he's dating and her friends, oh, my friends are having a margarita pool party and it's so amazing, like we can go there after. And the friends are like, oh, okay, like yeah. So then they show up at Nick's apartment, and we're all like wiped, like just sitting there. It's
nap time. Yeah.
The cheese plate is now down to like just the rinds, and we're all just sitting there, and they come in, and I guess they saw me first, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I have a bit of like resting bitch face, so I was just kind of sitting there, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do something else, and they turn and leave. And so later told me, they said that I was glaring at them, but even when they came in, I was like, hey, there's cheese, like come come in. And but they thought I was glaring at them, so they left. So I've now cockblocked and ruined his little like football game.
Okay, but I feel like deserves it, admittedly. Can we admit that? We can admit that, right?
No, I feel bad, you know, like.
Okay, well, I'll feel not bad for you and say that totally deserves it. And he can come to me if he has a problem with it.
So then it's like, oh, I have all these pilot friends who like flew a helicopter over the Argos game, and they're all going to come to my apartment. And I knew one of them. And so all these guys come over, and we drink there a little bit. And then there's another pilot who's at a gay club. And I was like, oh, I want to go see this person. And everyone was like, yeah, we're not going to a gay club. And I was like, if we go to the gay club, we can do hooter shooters out of my tits. And like, there was like a solid 4 minutes of like, and then they were just like, okay. And you have to understand at this time, everybody, because the way this magical night happened, you might think like, oh, you were dressed really sexy. I was wearing dirty jeans that literally had cheese spilled on them. Visibly, you could see it. I was just too lazy to clean it off. And a black Licenza t-shirt that was like a pajama top that was like 8 years old and had all the fuzzies. Like I was no makeup. My hair had been in a chlorine pool all day and I didn't dry it. So just keep that in mind. Like,
yes. I'm dressed sexy. So we're setting up this visual pretty well.
Yeah. So I go to the gay club. This is the longest date story. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I go to the gay club, and I mean, it's not even an official date. This was like one of those demisexual random dates. Yeah. And we go to do hooter shooters, and the bartender, a lot of places in Toronto like just don't have shot glasses. Yeah. And they were like, here, you want shots? Like, here's regular glasses. And all the guys were like, oh. And I was like, don't worry, boys.
We'll make it work.
I picked up a fistful of limes. I was like, do a shot, put a lime in my mouth. And I just kissed each of them after they did their shot. And then they were all like, okay, what? So then I went on the dance floor, and like, here's the key to my heart. Like, I just want to dance to fun gay music or music at gay clubs. And like, I don't know, that does it for me. Yeah. I danced, and suddenly it was like, everyone's attractive. And so then every time I came back to see the guys at the bar, they were like, round of shots. So I was just like dancing round of shots, and I was like dancing by myself. Like all the guys stayed at the bar, and I guess there's like a camera, and they're like, we're just watching you dance on camera. I'm like, cool, because I was right at the front of the stage.
That's amazing.
Then we end up going from that bar to another bar. On the way to the other bar, the guy that I actually had a crush on who came to the pool, like, pulled me aside, and we started making out. And I was like, man, this is turning out to be such a great night. Like, but we get to the second bar. So now, like, I've kissed the guy I actually like, and these other guys still want to do shots. And I'm like, this is too much. So I go in the bathroom. There's a girl in the bathroom, and I said, listen, I'm here with like 5 single dudes. I'm getting way too much attention. I need you to take one. Are you single? And she was like, I am single. And I was like, amazing. So I bring her out and introduce her, and she hits on the guy that I didn't make out with. And I was like, no,
wrong one.
Go pick one of these ones. So now I still have like so much male attention. And then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go out to the patio to like get a break.
Yeah.
And then a guy in the patio starts hitting on me, and we make out. Because at this point, I'm like, how many people can I make out with in one night?
Obviously, now it's a competition.
And then the guy I actually liked ended up walking home. And so I was like, okay, I got to get out of here because I don't want to make out with these guys anymore. So I like hopped in an Uber, went home, realized I forgot my keys downtown at Nick's house, had to Uber back to Nick's house, spent $150 on an Uber.
Holy hell.
But man, was that night fun.
That sounds like a great time. And that's still not the number one date?
No.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for number one.
So number one, like less, the quantity is smaller, but number one, I had the person I actually like ask me out. Cool, like that was kind of nice. He just like messaged me, said, do you want to go to dinner? And I thought like, oh, that's kind of nice, because the rest of the guys were still messaging me, but just asking for nudes. And I was like, get fucked. That night is done.
Yeah.
It was fun, but it's over. Stop it.
It's over. That's not who I am anymore.
Yeah. So that was cool. Like, we're not in a gay club.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So then, the date rolls around and it was like he had picked somewhere for dinner. We had like a drink first. We went to his place for dinner, and it was just like the perfect like ADHD demisexual date.
Nice.
We like walked around. There was like music playing in the park, so we like went and sat on a bench and like made out on a bench to live music. And then we like bar hopped all night. We like met random people, and like I offended a bunch of people by accident.
That's always a good time.
Yeah, like it was just, there was like so many different things that happened on this date. And it was like by the end, like my face hurt from laughing so hard.
That's good.
Yeah, it was really fun.
That's awesome. How were the abs? Did you get a good workout?
I don't know. I don't know about you, but like COVID, like I didn't work out. All these people who are like, I'm going to get fit. That wasn't me.
Same.
And I used to go dancing all the time, and then COVID hit.
And no more dancing.
There's no working out there, but even that's laughing.
Right. I just tell myself that round is a shape, so I am in shape.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I've had 2 children. I should look like a walrus, and I still look better than my mom, so that's fine.
And then, worst dates, I just think, like, worst dates, just nothing happens.
Right.
You show up, you get coffee, there's polite conversation. There is one that stands out. Like, I met up with someone who, like, I asked, oh, do you like baseball? Because I've gotten, my work gave me these like $100 baseball tickets.
Nice.
So I was like, do you like baseball? Oh, I love baseball. And so we met up, and then right off the bat, very clear, he had never been to a baseball game. He didn't know what innings were. He didn't know there were 9 innings to a game. He didn't know how long baseball was. He didn't know what a bat boy was. He didn't know what a third base coach was. He didn't know where the score was. Like, absolutely no idea. And then we were in like inning 3, and he was like, oh, this is too long. Can we go? And it was just like, like we were sitting there, beautiful afternoon, dome is open, not a cloud in the sky, like, and it was just like, you can't even just sit here and talk to me. Before that date, I thought baseball games would be the perfect date
for a guy, especially.
Yeah, you have something to watch, but you can also talk to each other. Mm-hmm. I don't like, there's food. I don't know. And then he said I was talking about Cafe, this pot shop I like, and he was saying, I've never been, I really want to go. So I was like, okay, I guess we could do that. Mm-hmm. And then he turned to me like on the way there and said, so like, we'll get edibles and go to your house. And I was like, no, buddy. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to go. And he just left. And but I just like, and he just complained the whole time.
Oh, that's the worst. The negative Nellies get me every time. I'm like, all right, check, please. Like, I don't even want to be here anymore if you're going to be like that.
And do you know what's interesting? Like, I feel like there's 2 kind of ways of being negative, because I feel like we've hung out and just complained the whole time, mm-hmm. but it didn't feel, for some reason, it was like we were venting. And then there's complaining where it's somehow, I don't know the difference, but sometimes people complain and it's like, oh, like you are bringing me down. And then other times people complain and you can bond over it. So I don't know where the line is, but this was not a bonding experience. This was like just complaining the whole time while I was like, just want to eat my popcorn, watch baseball. Oh, and like watch baseball past
fresh out of the gate. That's very awkward too. Like, that would be super off-putting to have somebody that's behaving like that on a first date of all times, when you think like, of all the dates we're going to go on, this one should really be the standalone, where you're really a gentleman and we find out about each other and if there's a connection and all of these things. Because again, at our age, it shouldn't be an awkward teenage first date anymore. We've lived into our 30s, almost into our 40s now. And I know that you typically date younger, but even still, that's life, man. Like, as you mature and you grow and you have these things, you communicate better, or at least that should be how it is that like, as we grow and mature, we're able to communicate with each other and like be identifiable with our actions.
Well, that doesn't get better with age, I don't think. It should.
Yeah.
You would think it does. And like, I feel like I'm better at communicating, and like maybe some people progress, but like man, the amount of dates I've been asked on where it was like really out of the blue or like really, I don't want to say like unprofessional, but like I've been in a lot of situations recently. I don't know why I'm getting all this attention recently, but I've been in a lot of situations recently where people have asked me out and I've gotten like angry at the way they did it because I felt like one person they're a friend and they were staying at my apartment and they came back to my apartment drunk and at like 2 a.m, like tried to talk to me like while I was in bed, and I was like, hey, this is my bed, like please stop, like try. And I just felt like you cornered me in my apartment when I couldn't leave, like what are you doing? Like you ask someone to dinner and be like, hey, do you want to go on a date? Can I take you to dinner? In the daytime, not in their house, on their bed.
At 2:30 in the morning when they've already gone to bed. It's not like you've just lied down either. It's like, that's.
So I feel like communication is very interesting. And I think it's like, but I also know some girls who say like, oh, it's so awkward when guys ask me out. I would rather like it just naturally happened, but that's not
but
me.
How's that supposed to just naturally happen?
That's what I said. I was like, I would rather a guy awkwardly ask if he could kiss me than just like randomly try to. Because a lot of people like they're not good at sensing chemistry. I find people try and kiss me all the time and I'm like, bro, no.
I don't want to know you like that. Stop that.
So it's like that. I get more of that than guys who like go in and I'm into it.
No, absolutely. I feel like some guys too just feel like, I mean, I don't know whether it's other women have given the impression that they're like a catch or they don't have to ask or whatever, or they just think maybe they're being assertive. But in an age where it's like the Me Too movement, consent is so important, even just like in a bar setting with somebody you don't know, right? Like I don't see it happen where a guy just buys a girl a drink and sends it down the bar anymore. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I think it's important to go up and be like, would you mind if I bought you a drink? Or can I introduce myself and sit here or whatever?
I don't mind the buying of the drink. As long as you don't expect anything and you're open to that person saying like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So now you're going into a situation where somebody is coming to you soon, right? Or tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, I'm going on a date tomorrow. And this person kind of planned the first date. And then I guess I'm planning the second one. And all they said was like, I'll come over after work. And I was like, does that mean I should plan dinner at a restaurant? Or can I just plan dinner at my house? I'm comfortable having him here.
That's good. And that's somebody that obviously has built a rapport with you in advance and isn't just a one-off that's like, hey, can I come to your house? Because like we were talking about, there's a lot of that happens as well, especially with date apps where it's this
so much.
It's an instant gratification almost, right? Like
I think they're all serial killers.
Well, probably. There's got to be an algorithm for that on there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
All right. The other thing that I want you to share with me, and you shared this with me in text this week, and we both had a good chuckle over it. And you were like, this would totally work. I would totally nail this guy if this is the move he pulled. So if you can remember it.
Yes. The perfect date.
Yes.
Okay. So I have a friend and we were just joking, and this is a male friend, and we were just joking about like my horrific dates. And I was saying like, oh, I really want to plan a good date. And so he was like, what's your go-to? If you're planning a date, what's your go-to? Because I have the same go-to for all my dates, and not to brag, but they always go really well. And so I was like, okay, let's hear it. Well. So he invites the person over for dinner. So obviously there has to be, maybe it's not necessarily date one, because they have to be like cool coming to their house. Cool. Yep. So starts dinner, comes over, makes cocktails, like makes the girl a really nice cocktail, chats on the couch, like maybe a little touch, goes back to making dinner. comes back to the couch, and at some point, I don't know why every guy's into feet, but at some point says, oh, can I give you a foot massage, and does like this calf foot massage thing. Like, okay, whatever.
The calf grab is a good grab.
Yeah. And then, you know, like, so initiates this touch, but then, oh, I got to get back to dinner. Then they have this really great dinner. Like, he's a really awesome cook. So it's like, has this really awesome dinner. And then maybe they'll go back to couch to like watch something on TV, and he'll say like, oh, can I give you a back massage? So then start massaging. And then at some point say like, you know, if they're both into it, say, hey, can I give you a full body massage? Like, I have like oil and everything, a whole setup upstairs. So it's like kind of a cheeky way, like, do you want to come to my room? But not saying it. So the girl, you know, whatever, cool. If she wants to go upstairs, she goes upstairs. And he's like, okay, go in the bathroom, get down to your underwear, and then come lie on, he has like a towel on his bed, like, come lie on my bed. And he'll put like a towel over her bum, and he'll like oil down and massage her. And then eventually, like, if he thinks there's chemistry there, like maybe she turns over and they start making out. Okay. And it was funny because he was saying, oh, I have this date and there's this big formula. And the whole time I was thinking like, yeah, I'd fuck you too. Like, okay, so you're going to invite me over, make me super expensive alcohol cocktails, cook me an amazing dinner, just massage me all night. And he's like really fun to talk to, like great conversation. Like, yeah, any guy who did that, I just fucked them afterwards. Like, that sounds like a fucking amazing. He thought he was being so sneaky. And I'm like, do you know the dates that I go
on? That's
Like,
adorable.
yeah. Like,
you've cracked the code, my friend. However, you're not as sneaky as you think you are. It's just like the old adage about like, if she's wearing a matching bra and underwear, you didn't plan to have sex. Like, to the guy, right? Like, whatever you think, it wasn't you that made that choice. It was her. Because if her shit underneath her clothes matches, she knew she was getting some, and she knew she was prepared to
I was
get
like,
it.
how does that work?
Yeah. But if you think about it, like, I don't know about you, but I can't be bothered to match my bra and panties.
I don't have matching bra and underwear.
And most days I'm not wearing panties, especially if it's summertime. I'm in a fucking dress, dude.
I do have a bunch of really cute underwear.
Yeah.
And I went shopping at Victoria's Secret like February. I was like, I'm going to start having sex and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to go on all these amazing dates. So I went to Victoria's Secret. I dropped like $400.
Holy shit.
I bought so much cute underwear. And that underwear still has the tags on it. Yeah.
Well, we need to do something about that.
Pretty exciting. Gonna bust out one of those pairs tomorrow.
She's gonna wear all of them tomorrow, guys. Yeah. Don't even believe it.
It's gonna be like Joey from Friends when he comes out with
wearing all. I'm Chandler Bing.
Maybe I should try the golden date. Maybe I should have him come over. I'll make him super nice cocktails. I'll cook him dinner. I'll have to touch his feet. That's kind of gross.
Maybe don't do feet, do shoulders and back. Guys like that shit, and they usually carry all their pressure center there.
Hands? I like a good hand.
Hands.
You know what? That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to bust out that golden date.
All right. Well, power to you. All right. So now where do we go from here? We've talked about the good, the bad, the past. Yeah. What else can we offer in this episode? I mean,
you know what I think would be cool? Okay, so you, knowing that you started dating the person you're now married to, what green flags did you see while dating that other people can look out for? You know, it's easy to identify red flags. Like, people always talk about those, but what are the green flags that turned out to be like, oh yeah, and then this ended up being the guy I married?
Yeah. So even in his initial profile, he was really very honest. It was very well written. He talked about the fact that he was a dad. He did not have any pictures of his children on his profile.
That's nice. Yeah.
And I fucking hate when people do that. I don't want to see kids in your profile picture. If you're a parent, if that's your niece or nephew, I don't care. I don't care if their parents have them all over social media and it's not a big deal. I don't like seeing children on dating apps. It's inappropriate to me. Tell the person on your profile, yes, I'm a parent. Yes, I share custody, whatever. And then if it gets to a date point, you discuss the kids and show pictures then if that's what you want to do. But I don't believe that somebody should be sharing children's photos on a dating app. So for the fact that he spoke about being a dad, now he also talked about the fact that he was, you know, at the beginning of him on online dating, this was not something that he was looking for a wife. He was out of a 6-year relationship. And he was like, I want to talk to people until I know it's the right fit. I'm going to go on dates. It is not going to be exclusive right off the bat. And things that normally women would be like, oh my God, as if he said that. But at my age, and as a parent myself, I really respected the shit out of that. And for what I was looking for at the time, which was nothing, I was really just like, let me get my foot back in the pond, because I've been so jaded and so guarded and so angry and resentful, especially toward men, that I was just like, fuck this, I'll throw my hat in the ring one more time and we'll see how this pans out. But then I'm done. His first message to me was in response to mine. And I think mine was just like, I really loved your profile and the fact that you really went into good detail about who you are, what you're looking for, and like what won't work for you. That was also in his profile. Like he was like, if you don't like kids, if you can't share time because I share custody, then those are, you know, going to be things that mean we shouldn't meet up. And that rarely happens. Well, I don't know about now, but that was a rare thing for me to have seen on any of the dating apps. Now, he and I met on Plenty of Fish. At the time, he and I were both on Plenty of Fish, Bumble, and one other one. I can't remember what the other one was, but
Tinder?
those were might have been. He was on Tinder. I was on Tinder for about 5 minutes until I kept getting like overwhelming amounts of just
fuck boy.
Yeah. And like one would be worse than the last. Like the one word like sup would be the first message, or like somebody would comment on my tits, or somebody would comment on whatever, and immediately I was just like, immediately no, like delete, block. And it was getting to the point that I was getting ready to like get off the apps and just give it up and be like, nope, I'm just gonna, just me and the kids, like that's all it is now. And he put the effort in. He made sure that he talked, communicated really well, answered all the questions that I asked. And I, at the beginning of like online dating, I basically went, okay, well, I'm going to ask 20 questions and I'd like you to ask me, are you cool with doing that? And we'll just kind of go rapid fire. So some of my questions were obviously deeper than others, more uncomfortable, whatever. Some of them got into sexuality. Some of them got into things like that. And I think that that was something I had never done before. So with that, I was able to see how he responded, and if something made him uncomfortable, or if he looked like he was being deceptive with his answers, or it just seemed something felt off. And there never really was that. So it wasn't necessarily green flags so much as it was the absence of the obvious red ones. And the fact that he was very brutally honest right out of the gate. So when I messaged him and said like, oh, I loved your profile, I really like the detail, I'm wondering about something that you posted specifically, and asked him a question about his profile. And he responded with like a page long thing. In it, he didn't call me beautiful. He didn't comment on my looks. He didn't say any of that. He talked about what I had written in my profile. He asked about like my kids, and not like their names or what schools they go to, but like, how's your relationship with them?
God, that would be creepy.
Right? Like when, right? Like when are your times of access? Basically trying to figure out like, we're both parents here. How do we sort out a date when we don't have any of our kids? Do we have the same weekend off, different weekend off? And trying to conclude like the conversation in a way that left it open to leave the app and to move over to texting. And once that happened, everything moved quite quickly. Once we both were off the app, it was basically an exclusive relationship. I was very honest with him. It took about 3 months for me to get uncomfortable with the whole like wanting to date other people, and I was obviously developing feelings. He was doing the same. So I came to him and was like, either we need to end this or we need to be exclusive, because I have to honor myself and my boundaries and everything else. Yeah. And at that point he was like, well, I was waiting for you to take the lead on that, because I've already been done with anybody else for like a month. So that was nice. And then like ever since, just he's a very good communicator. He's a very good partner. He was raised by really good people who taught him that there's no such thing as a pink or a blue job, right? So he's not like, women are supposed to cook and my dinner should be ready for me on the table.
Oh my God, he's a good cook.
Right?
Oh, what was that thing he made on your birthday last year?
Stir fry.
Oh,
the spicy chicken stir fry. Yeah. And he's not afraid to try stuff, right? Like he's not afraid to get experimental with food, with bedroom stuff, with whatever. So like
waiting for that.
Right? It's not fucking boring. And I'm not somebody that does boring well. Boring makes me depressed.
Yeah, me too.
I want to go out. I don't care if we're married. I want to still date you. I want to still not only love you, but I want to like you.
Yeah.
And how do I continue that? Well, I continue that by learning and growing, and we develop more of a rapport as we continue in our relationship. And I mean, obviously, there have been shittier times in there, and we've had headbutting situations where it's actually usually me that shuts down because I get inside my own head and I don't know how to articulate what I'm thinking, or I'm insecure and I know I'm being insecure. So then I just shut down and I won't say anything because I'm like, now I'm going to look like this insecure little bitch. So then I just don't talk for a day.
Do you know what I noticed about him right off the bat, the very first time I met him? Because I've met a bunch of your other boyfriends, obviously, and he was the actual first, maybe other than the father of your youngest. But he, like, you know, you came to the bar that I was working at, we sat down, and he seemed genuinely interested to meet me. You were like, oh, this is my friend. And he like looked me in the eyes, asked questions, like, whereas I find a lot of your other relationships I think about, it's like, I'd come over and we'd start hanging out and your ex would be like hanging out in a different room. And while we did stuff, and it was always the Paige and Beth show, and the boyfriend was around, but then it was like suddenly you started dating your husband and it was like us together, like we were all doing stuff,
and there was nothing that felt third wheely. I hope
no, not at all.
And he doesn't feel like he's in competition with you. If I'm like, hey, let's go hang out in Toronto, the first thing he says, he's like, what's Paige doing? Like, should we give her a call, go get her? Like, and I never had that with another boyfriend. Every other boyfriend I had was insecure about you, and they were like, well, I feel like if she told you to break up with me, you right? Yeah, that's how fucked up the men I dated were.
So many people think we're lesbians, and I just always think it's so funny because it's like, how sad that you don't have a friend that you can just like dance in a kitchen naked with, or like go out in public and you're laughing so hard everyone thinks you're high,
right?
You know, like,
and sometimes you are and sometimes you are.
Yeah, sometimes you are actually, but not at the times they thought we were.
No, never at the times.
You know, like it was always like we were in this bubble and everyone was judging us, and it was like you met your husband and it was suddenly like he was in the bubble with us. You know, like just having fun.
That's an excellent way to put that. Yeah, he just kind of effortlessly moved into that bubble, and we let him. With other people, I don't think we did either. Like, I think
because other people, it wasn't real. They weren't having fun with us. They weren't.
They were faking it till they made it, and most times they couldn't fucking make it. So I am looking forward to hearing how tomorrow's date goes.
Me too.
And I'm also waiting for pictures of this boy.
Not
that looks matter a lot, but you have to be attracted physically as well. I mean, there has to be. That's definitely a plus.
I don't know, man. Demisexuals, we're a weird breed. Like,
I mean, I'd say I've seen your boyfriends, but they've all been kind of cute. I mean, with a couple of exceptions,
he's cute,
I suppose. Yeah.
I'll send you right now. We can get.
So, what are you most excited about? Using the new underwear?
Do you know, I was thinking about that, and I was like, am I most excited about the potential of like making out? I actually just like want to hang out with this person, which I think is very interesting. Especially next to all the other dates I've been on, where it's like, okay, like it's like I kind of have to hype myself up, like I'll get ready. Whereas this person, like, he was asking like, oh, what time should I come over? I was like, you can come over at 8 a.m. Like, I don't care.
You are welcome.
I will. You can come over for coffee. You can come over all night. Like I just want to hang out with them.
That's right.
And that's a cool feeling. And it makes me feel a little bit bad about all the other dates I've been on recently, because I just think, oh, I probably wasn't as interested in those other people as I should have been.
Yeah. But I mean, that's a hard play too, right? Because somebody can be stunningly attractive and then they open their mouth and it all goes to shit.
I've dated that.
Yeah, I know you have.
Yeah.
But we're not saying names, so I won't.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing to mention, I mean, specifically as far as especially with demisexual goes, is that there isn't a physical type, right? Like there isn't one physical type that you can say like, I like tall, dark, and handsome. I like hairy, bigger.
No, it's fucked.
Like it's really not about the physicalities. It's really very much about the connection itself.
Yeah. And it's like, it actually blows my mind. Like when I think back about the people I've dated, short, tall, thin, fat,
white, brown,
every
all
color,
of it.
every language.
Yeah.
And like, it's really interesting the way that this connection just overpowers everything and tells my brain like, that's who you're attracted to now.
Yeah. Got it. And you're like, oh, yeah.
Okay, I sent you the picture.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to look right now.
Okay, we'll get live reaction.
Oh, God. Oh, he's cute.
He's cute.
Do you know, I'm not going to tell you who he looks like on camera, but I will off. Okay. It's somebody that starts with the letter L. See if you can figure it out.
There's only one name I think of now with an L, so I can't.
Okay, good. And I'm not gonna. I'll wait till after tomorrow and see how that goes.
Oh God, why is it bad? Oh no. Now I'm not gonna be able to get that on my head. Like, what names start with L?
Oh, lover. No.
Well, thanks for inviting me on this podcast.
And thank you for being guest number 1.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot of, not intimate things, but we talked about a lot of things, and now I'm like, are people I've gone on dates with going to watch this?
I mean, if you'd like me to tag you in it, I suppose they would, but I don't have to tag you in it.
Yeah, let's not tag me for now.
All right, we won't tag you in it. Yeah. You've been kind enough to join us as the first guest and to share a lot. So.
And what's the name of your podcast? What did you decide?
In My Defense.
Nice. And are you having a theme song?
I haven't decided. I'm trying really hard not to get sued. So I don't know about what songs I could even really have as a theme song.
Do you know, like, and this is like personal preference, but TV show openings, movie openings, podcast openings, I don't like when they're long. I think if you get something that's 3 seconds long, so if you get someone to like say the name or sing the name and like boop boop boop, you just make a funny sound.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like it. I'll just to like hammer his guitar right at the beginning.
Yeah, why not?
Right? Something weird,
something consistent. And
memorable.
This is now the podcast has started.
I'm gonna squeeze rubber chicken.
Bye.
That's right.
Oh, man. Okay, wait. So, side note.
Yeah.
What do you think about dating rules? We didn't really talk about that.
Dating rules, I feel like as long as both parties are comfortable with whatever is going on in whatever direction the date is going, there should be no rules.
Fuck dating rules.
Right? Like, why do you have to wait for the third date? Why do you have to not call and wait for her to like that?
They're all dumb.
It's stupid. Why? We're fucking adults. Are you attracted to me? Great. You wanna like
be
smash
obsessed
pissers?
with me.
Let's smash pissers. Like
yeah, I just want someone to be obsessed with me and tell me I'm pretty and take me on fun dates. And like feed me candy. I don't need to pretend that I'm not into you, and you don't need to pretend you're not into me.
Exactly.
Let's grab my ass. Fun things.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Also, like, I think there's nothing more attractive than people that are still affectionate, even though they're like past the first date, second date, third date. Like, the thing I find fucking adorable is old people that still will hold hands or like cheeky bum grab each other or whatever, right? Like, I think that shit is amazing. Yeah. And there needs to be more of it. So
cheeky bum grabs, everyone.
Right? You got to just like take the rules out of your head, I think, and do what feels right in the moment, as long as you have a consenting other party.
I think all the rules started when we were younger, and it was this game of trying not to seem interested, because when you become interested, you're clingy, and the guys are like, oh, I don't want this. And you know what? That's one thing now that I won't ever do again. If I date someone and they're like, oh, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. Okay, man, like, I don't even want to try. Like, I'm not necessarily looking for a boyfriend out the gate, but I don't even want to try anything with you, because I just want someone who's going to openly show affection to me.
That's right. And if you're going to be at an arm's length and like,
yeah, get fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Galen.
Right. I love that at the beginning of this, we're like, we're not going to say names. No, we're not going to say names.
You just got to bleep them out.
Right.
Your whole podcast.
How good do you think that my editing is? It isn't. I don't know how to do it. We're leaving the names in. Fuck Garth, fuck Vince, fuck whoever else we said. Fuck them all. It's going live right now. I'm pushing the button.
We'll do a share screen live editing session.
Deal.
I'll help you.
That. Yeah. All right. I'm so excited. Not at all.
Let me see your little mustache. It's crooked. It's like going up your nostril. It's amazing.
We were at the Neighbors the other night. New Neighbors, by the way.
Oh, where Jack and Jill or Harry Potter used to live or whatever?
No, so like not actual neighbors. They're like 5 doors down, but they had a sign up for puppies. So naturally we had to go and see puppies.
Oh, those cute puppies you showed me.
The guy is Czech, just like my husband. And the woman knows where I grew up. Like nobody knows where that is. So I was like, oh hell. So like there's so many crazy coincidences. But now with these guys, I was laughing because said to the husband, he's like, do you want to see my wife's camel toe? Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but I actually have
that's so funny.
I have a camel on my toe. So it wasn't like a weird sexual thing. And he was drinking heavily because they're Czech and that's what they do. Actually, very, very rarely ever drinks.
I was gonna say he doesn't get
He's
drunk.
Usually busy babysitting my drunk ass. But
yeah.
No, well, can't fall far from that alcoholic tree now, can we?
Camel toe.
Camel toe. Yeah, maybe that's how I should do it next time. Just start yelling that word.
Then he said, "You want to see my wife's camel toe?"
Oh yeah, and then the guy was like, and I just like took my shoe off. He's like, "Oh, thank God." I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's like, don't apologize. That was hilarious. Sorry about the dog in the background, by the way.
That was cute.
You could see a little
yeah
Bowie starfish earlier, but he basically, when I tried to start recording, sat outside my door and scratched at it because my husband is downstairs playing video games, being told not to come up here and open the door. So I guess I should let him actually come upstairs now.
Yeah, too bad.
Maybe. Well, this has been fun. We should do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to come to the round table, right?
The round table?
Yeah, when it's the 4 hosts talking about something.
Oh, that's fun. 100%.
All right, that'll be cool. Perfect. Okay. Well, enjoy your night and enjoy your hopefully best first date ever.
Second date now.
Oh, are we counting that first one?
Well,
was it a date?
So this person,
just because you made out with him doesn't make
this person. He was date number 2.
Oh,
and date number 1.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is our second official date.
Okay, well, it's not third, so you know you're not allowed to take those sexy panties off. Like, do what you want, girl. Get it. All right. I guess you can help me edit this marvelous masterpiece.
Yeah, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being the first guest. I'm so happy that you were able to do it and this worked out. All right. Okay, bye.
Bye.